Hello everyone, so today's video is going to be yet another unhaul. I am getting over a cold, so if my voice sounds a little bit funny, that's why. But for some reason I thought that I hadn't done an unhaul yet this year, but then I looked back and I have already done one. But as per usual, I have more books that I'm getting rid of. I think I get rid of more books than I take in at this point, but it's pretty close. So I have lots of stuff to show you and maybe talk about a little bit in this video. Some pretty popular stuff as well as some more obscure stuff that I've read recently I didn't care for. Some stuff has been on my shelves for a long time, so stay tuned for that. So I'll start with some stuff that I tried to read recently and I couldn't even finish the series. I don't think they're bad, they just weren't really for me. So first off, we have Even Though We're Adults. I have all 10 volumes. I ended up reading 8 out of the 10 volumes, and I thought it was okay, but I just had a lot of issues with it. So many that I didn't even feel like I needed to finish the series. So safe to say this one can be going. And I do know there are lots of people out there who will enjoy this series, so that's great. And another series that many people enjoy, but I am probably just not the target audience, is Ushi Rhetoric. This is a mystery series. This is another 10-volume series. I read 5 of them, and I thought it was okay, but I wasn't interested enough in the mysteries to continue reading. The characters were okay, not great, not memorable at all. I definitely didn't hate reading this. In fact, there are very few manga that I'm going to talk about in this video that I did hate, but this one I thought, I just don't know if I love to read mystery manga. Mystery has its place, but sometimes I just get frustrated with it and it doesn't go in the direction I want it to, and it doesn't solve the mystery in the way I want to. So yeah, this one just can go to another home. That's fine. So you know the phrase, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed? Well, that's definitely how I feel about this next series. So I have all 3 omnibuses of Innocence. I loved this first volume despite how much, like the fact that it physically affected me so much. It's so gross and grotesque and sad and brutal. And I felt such a strong physical reaction to it. I was so impressed by it. And then I waited until the next 2 omnibuses were out to complete this part of the series. I don't feel like it's a complete series at this point, but that's besides the point. I loved everything it was building up with our reluctant executioner main character, but the fact that it completely switched gears and focused on a different character in omnibuses 2 and 3 was really, really frustrating. I was not happy about it whatsoever, and I don't even think like it's a bad direction to take the story. It's just not the direction I thought it was going to go in, and I was very interested in the direction I wanted it to go in. So safe to say I was very disappointed with this one, and I have no problem unhauling this. Next, we have some stuff that I've already removed from the collection, and you might be surprised by some of these, but not as surprised as you will be in a little bit. So first off, I have all the volumes of Erased in the hardcover edition, because that's the only edition in English. And I definitely enjoyed this series. I thought it was really, really good, but it is another mystery series, and since I know the mystery and the reveal, I don't think it will hit as hard for me the second time reading it if I ever reread it. So I just didn't feel like Erased deserved that shelf space that it had, and so I went ahead and moved on from that one. And then this next one probably shouldn't be too surprising. I already talked about it and mentioned that I was unhauling it. I think I mentioned it on here, maybe it was just on Instagram. But I read all 8 volumes of Kinos Journey recently, and while I enjoyed parts of it, there were other parts that really confused me, and I don't think this is the best way to enjoy this franchise. At least that's from the little research I've done. I think that's the conclusion that people have come to. So I'm definitely not completely disregarding this franchise. I just think the manga, I'm never going to read it again. I'm glad I read it, but that's all. It definitely doesn't need to stay in my collection, and as I said, I already unhauled it, and don't worry, it went to a good home. And lastly, for ones that I've already unhauled, I have all volumes of Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. This is one I read because I love the author's other work, Spirit Circle, and this one, it just didn't impress me as much as Spirit Circle. It definitely had some interesting ideas and themes that it shared with Spirit Circle, but I just didn't love the characters, and the story was okay. I didn't hate it. Again, I didn't really hate anything in this video, and it did stay in my collection for a while with me debating whether I wanted to reread it, but as you can see, the shelf space is dwindling, so I need that shelf space, so I decided to, again, give it to a good home. Actually, speaking of that creator, I forgot I was going to unhaul these. Actually, I forget about these all the time, but I looked at my pile over there and remembered. I have volumes 1 through 3 of End Sult. This is, again, by the same creator, and it has some of those similar themes to the other 2, but the release dates are just so slow for this series, and I enjoyed the first volume, but it wasn't anything mind-blowing, and I never ever think about the series ever. So I decided to go ahead and just unhaul it, stop collecting it. I don't really need it. I'd rather give it to someone else who will enjoy it a lot more and actually think about it and not forget about it. Next up, we have Sneeze and Mujiouchi by Naoki Urasawa. This is a short story collection, and this is kind of just a one-shot. And I thought Sneeze was really bad and Mujiouchi was just okay. There's only one page I remember from this manga. If you've read it, maybe you know what I'm talking about. And that's not really a page I'd like to remember in this current moment in time. And while I thought the actual story was fine, I just don't think I'm ever going to read it again. So I decided to unhaul these. And then this is where I'm really going to ruffle some feathers if I haven't already. I thought for a really long time about these. They've been on my shelves since very early on in my manga collecting career, and I enjoyed them a lot. And they're hugely popular series. But I just don't think I'm ever going to read them again. If I'm going to reread a manga, if I'm going to take that time instead of reading something new to read something that I've enjoyed before, I'm not going to reach for these. I really enjoyed both of them, so don't take this as me saying they're not good, because I know people are going to take that way for some reason. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I would rather use the shelf space that these take up, which is a lot of shelf space. I would rather use that for something that I will reread many times in the future. So, that being said, I am unhauling all 9 volumes of Monster and all 12 volumes of 20th Century Boys, or the omnibuses, whatever. So, I pretty much said everything I'm going to say about this. I do not hate this series. I do not think it's bad. I really enjoyed both of these. 20th Century Boys a little bit more, but I just don't think I'm going to touch them again. They just sit on my shelves, and they look very nice, and I just don't think that series need to stay on my shelves just because they're on everybody else's shelves. And I actually don't agree with that at all. There are these ideas that there are some series that everybody needs to collect. I think that's ridiculous. And while I do think these series are very good, if you're not interested in them, don't collect them. I think these lists of series everybody must read no matter what you're interested in are just ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know why I went off on a tangent when all I'm saying is I'm unhauling 2 very popular series, but you know, this is an unhaul video, so I guess I do have to rant about something, so I'll rant about that for a little bit. But yeah, getting rid of these. I should have saved those for last, but just a couple other things to wrap this up. I have Huntress. I read this. I'll probably talk about it in my next wrap-up video. I just thought it was deeply uncreepy, and I wanted it to be creepy. I know lots of people say this is really creepy. For me, it was definitely not. So it did absolutely nothing for me, so there's no reason for me to keep it. And then finally, some volume 1s from my most recent try a volume video. I have Rosen Maiden volume 1, which I couldn't even finish. And then I also have Drifters Omnibus 1. I actually also have Omnibus 2. I didn't cancel my pre-order in time, so unfortunately, even though I almost couldn't finish this omnibus, I have the second omnibus to get rid of as well. When you're someone who pre-orders manga as much as I do, it's gonna happen sometimes. So it's fine, it's not a big deal, and I already know who I'm sending this manga to. So yeah, that was my unhaul video this time. Lots of controversial opinions, but if you're watching this video and you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably already expect that. If you have any thoughts or comments that you'd like to leave down below, please feel free. I would love to hear from you. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!